everyone, and welcome to one more episode around protecting wildlife. My name is Tanja Andersen. I'm the host behind this summons, and today I have an amazing speaker. Her name is Cristina Lapis. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, my friend, and happy to be together again, speaking about animals.
The same to you. And Cristina is coming from an organization that is called Leprosy Bear Sanctuary. And so we talk about a little bit more detail around what that is about. Yes, it's about bear, and it's a sanctuary for bears. So, Cristina, tell us a little bit about what is this sanctuary all about?
First of all, the Association Milioane of Friends was created in 1997 because of the stray dogs and find a solution to solve this problem. And we are now, next year, there will be 25 years since I work for this association that I created with my husband in Romania. And in 2005, I created also the sanctuary Liberty Zagnești for the brown in circus, in dirty cages, illegal kept, or in a very bad zoo.
Wow, that's horrible.
Yeah. In meantime, the association was created for all the animals in need, because I think that somebody who loves animals cannot choose an animal from another. So with the time we saved cats and birds and deers, and the last year I created an educational farm, because a lot of children come to visit the Liberty Bear Sanctuary, and I realized that they saw wild animals, unfortunately, in circus and in zoo, but they didn't see farm animals. And I have to recognize that my first pig I saw when I was 60 years old, because of course for the children who live in towns, they have the possibility to see farm animals, which are, by my thoughts, one of the animals who are most unhappy and in very bad condition in our technical time. And like this, because I had to help some horses found in the street, some donkeys abandoned in the field until they had glass in their back and ice in their back in winter time. I saved some pigs from the Christmas, because in Romania for Christmas there is a lot of sacrifice for pigs, like for the Thanksgivings, when they sacrifice, and the children doesn't see these animals, but only in their plate. And I wanted that sheep and goats, I wanted that they look in their eyes and they see that they are living creatures, like all the other creatures. And why we decided that these creatures we can eat and now the others, like in China, that we eat dogs and we eat lambs for Easter. Which is the difference? There is no difference. And it is very hypocrite from our part, European, to condemn the Chinese that they eat dogs. But when you take in your arms a little lamb, which is the difference between the lamb and the dogs? So all the animals need respect. And even if I am vegetarian, I don't want to convince anybody, because this is something very personal to be convinced to not eat meat. But I want at least that the children see these animals and at least respect their sacrifice. Like the Indian was praying about killing bison, and they were killing only what they need to survive. Not now, when the meat of an animal has no more price. And when you buy meat, it's not good to say we buy meat. We should say we buy a dead animal. This is the truth, not only meat. This is a creature, and at least to respect. And I can tell you, since I opened this farm, the children are very interested, of course, of the bears and see them free and playing and running and swimming. But they are very interested about the farm animals. They can touch a lamb, a horse, a donkey, and they see that they are animals like the others, and they can be very attached to the human being. They come, they look for the caress, like the pig who is snoring like a cat when you caress him. So I discovered this, and I read the last time that the pig is a very intelligent animal, maybe more intelligent than the dog, and there are families who have pigs like a pet. So it's something crazy in this world, that there are some pigs who are killed, some pigs who are kept in very good condition. Like for the stray dogs, I always ask myself, why are dogs who are living in nice houses, even in the bed with the owners, and there are others who live in the street? There is no reason. But this is, it's very, the life is not just, because this is also for the human. There are human who lives very well, and other who lives in the poverty, or children who have nothing to eat. So
yeah, so true.
But speaking about this, I want to wake up the conscience of the human being that we are part of this planet. The planet is our world, and it is like a chain. It's our home. It is like a chain. If a little link of the chain, it's not, doesn't stay in the chain, everything it's turn around. And what happened with this COVID could be an example that we entered too much in the life of the animals, and we made too much harm to the animals, and the nature revenge. That's why we have tsunami and all the changing of the temperature of the planet. This is because we don't keep our place of human being to respect all around us, also the trees, the forest, everything. It's an ecosystem, and we are part of this ecosystem. We are not the master of this world. We are just administrator for a very short time. Every one of us, very short time, we administrate, and we should do everything to leave this planet, at least how we receive it, if we cannot do it better. But unfortunately, we destroy day by day hundreds and hundreds of species of animals who disappear every year. We destroy the forest, we make everything against the nature. And after, we wonder why we are in this situation. And I think since 25 years since I work, and I saved a lot of animals, which is just a drop in an ocean of suffering, I think that only the education of the young generation can change the world. If it's not too late, only them, they can change, because maybe they want to live in another world where is peace between human beings and also with the nature around.
Yeah, and that is so beautiful. I also believe like we get to really focus on the children, because they have not create so big habits and like lifestyles. This is very challenging to create, like have a talk with an adult, because they are like, I need this, I'm doing this is my safe house, my comfort zone. to really focus on to put and like inspire the children to think like on new ideas is so much easier compared to adults. When I talk about that, as you also sharing about when my friends and families, I'm a vegan and I've been vegan for over 3 years now. When I really like focus on the truth, when people are saying like, I'm eating meat, it was like, no, you eating dead animal. That is like, you're just using a word so you maybe can feel good about yourself. So you don't like seeing what are you eating exactly. That is a dead animal that have been dead for a few days or maybe a few weeks, and you're eating and rotting animals right now. It's not a living being, it's a dead animal. And people get a little bit offended about me sometimes because I believe they feel bad about it because they say they love it and like to pet a pig, they love to like touching a cow, but it's like, what? But you're eating it, it's like, that is not like getting together. And you cannot say you love it and eat it. Do you want to eat your children? It's like, like, what? You cannot like say that's like this is the same. Like, do you want to eat your house dog? No. Why are you eating it? Why are you eating a cow? And you say you love a cow.
Yeah, very known Buddhist Mathieu said that the people love animals until they arrive in their plate. And a lot of people to whom I ask, okay, if you should kill an animal to eat, you should do it. And they say, no, never. Yes, and I said, but this is coward from you. You wait that somebody does your dirty work.
Exactly, my friend.
So also if the slaughtery had windows and the people could look inside, I don't think that a lot of people would eat this. But
that was the way for me. Like, I know what is happening behind doors because my first education was an animal keeper, so I know what was happening. I saw it in like a TV, but when I saw it with my eyes and I could smell it and I could hear it, and I saw there was like killing a cow on the wrong way, because when you're going so fast in the slaughterhouse, sometimes it's going wrong. And when I saw the cow, I was like, no more. Like, I was like getting a vegan for the first day and was like, I'm not eating this anymore. That was horrible. Like the smell, the sounds, what you see it is totally different compared you see it on a TV.
And people doesn't want to know this. When I tell to the people, look what's happened, they say, don't tell me because I love so much to eat. But if you tell me, I couldn't eat. Exactly. So they prefer to lie themselves and to do this. But more and more young people, very young people, become vegan, not vegetarian, but even vegan, because they realize, and I think that this cannot be stopped. One day, I shall not arrive to see, but from heaven, I shall look down and I shall see that a lot of people will become vegan and will try to live in peace with the animals. Also because of the pollution, because the farms are the biggest. We speak about electric cars and planes, but they don't say that the farms are the most biggest pollution in the world. So
it is. And people don't want to see it. It's like, you're saying like the plane, cars is the most horrible. No, like, or like close to the whole Denmark is like farm animals, and we are the biggest country that have farm animals on so small we are. That's crazy. We have no real forest back in Denmark at all. We have killed everything close to.
Saint Francis of Assisi was saying that the animals are our brothers and sisters. How could you kill a brother or a sister and wait that in this world is peace and a nice life? How can you, after you kill an animal who is suffering? And what I want at least to show is that the animals, it's not only that they are killed, they are living all their life in suffering. this is a problem because there are no more the farms how they were before. At least if they were little farms saying that all animals like human beings must die one day, but at least if they had a nice life. But when you take the veal from the cow immediately when he's born to kill him, and you take the cow only to take the milk and all the antibiotics that they use and everything that they use to have a big production, this also is against the human being, because a lot of illness come from the animals. The crazy cow, the chicken who are ill, the pigs, this turn against, and then they are afraid and they don't eat the human being. If you announce that now you cannot eat the cow because there is a problem, they don't eat. So they can do it. But, and for a pleasure, what kind of pleasure is to eat? Eating must be to survive, not for a pleasure, but human make from this a pleasure on the suffering of millions of animals who are killed every year.
Yeah, I also believe when I have a conversation with people that eat dead animals, they are very like attached to it, like, don't take this from me. It's like, I'm not taking something from you. You are destroying the world. Like, the world is suffering. The world, we have like the global warming right now. And what I'm seeing is like the world is afflicting about how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, how we treat the society in our lifestyle. So you get to see how the world is suffering. It's just afflicted by what you are hiding in yourself through your lifestyles. And we will get to change that. You don't give up on something when you say no to me. There's so many others food to think about, but I also believe people have not learned to open the mindset and see like new ideas, new opportunities, and see new ways to living, because they are so stuck in their comfort zone and they hold it so tight because they feel they will like maybe die if they're giving up on something, because what do I get if I give this up? Yeah, so it's just like a mindset you really like get to work with.
The hope is the new generation, True. And let's hope that one day we shall see everybody living in peace. And now, not zoo, you know, one of my dreams is to see the virtual zoo, and there are some who are already made in France. There is one near Lyon, and in China, I know that there is such a zoo where you enter and you can feel the smell of the mountain or of the sea or of the desert, and you see the animals as you can touch them, but they are not in cages and they are free and they are in their own environment. I see the difference of these bears who lived in cages and now they are in their environment. It's such a difference.
So when you, sorry, my friend, so when you talk about bears, because you have an amazing bear sanctuary, there's Liberty Bear Sanctuary, and you have done an amazing job for the bears and also the dogs. So tell us a little bit about how did you find that purpose or passion around to saving the bears, to give them a better life, because you are giving the bears a better life?
It's a second chance to be free to these bears. It's not a special passion for the bears. Everybody asks me why the bears, because the bears were in the very bad condition in Romania. And when I met the first bears and I saw them in cages, I just stayed there, cried, and promised them that other bears will not be in this condition. And it's like this that I begin, because the bear Maya died in my arms after eating her paws.
Oh my God.
Maya was a bear shut in a cage in a resort, a ski resort in Poiana, Brasov. No, Maya was near the Bran Castle, near the Dracula Castle, and she was shut in a little cage of 3 meters. And when she was 6 years old, she became to auto-mutilate herself because of the cage. And she ate the right paws. I called my friends, veterinary of Romania and Germany. They come and they operated her. But after she ate the other paws, and she died in my arms. So then I promised to her that no other bear will die like this. And I began to ask around all my partners from Germany, from France, the Foundation Brigitte Bardot, because Brigitte Bardot supported me from the beginning. I asked them who can help me to build a little place. I never thought that the sanctuary will be the biggest sanctuary with 117 bears saved.
Please love bears.
I wanted to save the bears who were in cages, but I didn't realize that there are so many bears. And near Brasov was also a pension who had 3 bears in cages, staying in wet, dirty beton, without water, without food. From time to time, they were throwing them some food and some beer bottles, and they had always the paws full of blood. And after 5 years that we feed every day these bears in Poiana and near the Dracula Castle, after Maya died in my arms, I wrote to World Animal Protection in London, and I said to them, if they don't help me to do something, I shall lose all these bears. One of the bears was shut in his cage to take the trophy because it was a big bear of 30 years old. 30 years old, 30 years in this cage to be shut in the end. And fortunately, World Animal Protection said to me that if I find a space for them, they are ready to come to help me. And like this, I created a sanctuary in a private public partnership with the city of Zagnești, who gave to the association the area of 80 hectares, and the World Animal Protection financed this project. And then the association that I created remained to drive this sanctuary. And in the beginning, I didn't want to open to the public. I was so angry to all these people who were indifferent to see these bears. There was a bear near the Peleș Castle, chained for 10 years, blinded by the owner to become dependent of him. A bear of 400 kilo, who was chained with a big chain that he couldn't move all the day, and the people was making pictures with him. Of course, the owner, if you can be owner with a wild animal, the owner who blinded him was guilty. But all the other people who made pictures and pay this guy to make picture with this bear, and who saw the bear in which situation was, never asked themselves how to do picture with this bear in suffering. So I was very angry, and when I confiscated this bear, I said I shall never open to the people because they don't deserve to see these bears. I give them the second chance to be free, and I want to remain like this. But after I realized that if I don't give the example to the people, they will never wake up. So Since 7 years, we opened the sanctuary, and grateful to the people who visit the sanctuary, I realized how many cases are in Romania, because I knew only some cases around the town where I live. But the people who visited begin to write to me.
Oh,
I
wow.
went to a pension and I saw a bear, please do something. So we begin to confiscate, with the help of the Ministry of Environment, bears from the monastery, gas oil pump, fabrics of bread, fabrics of uranium,
Oh my God, it's
places that
horrible.
you never imagine. Then inside these places is a bear or two bears that they were keeping until they arrive a trophy, and after they shut in their cages. Or they reproduces the bears and sell the cubs to the
It's horrible.
circus, to the people who want to have a bear like a cub. They play for 4 or 5 months with the bear, it's possible, and after arrive in a cage for the end of the life. So like this, year by year, we confiscated 5, 6, 7, and we arrived now to 117 bears. But I received also bear from Ukraine, from Armenia, from Albania, and even from Texas. SPCA from Houston, Texas, called me and said, we have brown bear. We have now sanctuaries for brown bears. We found him on a ship, on an illegal circus on a ship.
I've never heard about that before. Oh my, on
The
a ship
story
and a
of Betty of Texas, and they said, we know that you have the best sanctuary because in 2016, the National Geographic elected the sanctuary the most ethical sanctuary in the world. And they said, we want for Betty a better life. So they brought Betty from Houston by plane to Frankfurt. And from Frankfurt, she arrived from by car. And she lived in our sanctuary for 16 years. She died last month, but at least she died free, without bars on her head, listening the wind and the birds, and she had a decent last year's life. There are some who lived only 1 or 2 years, because we had a bear of 40 years old. It's very old for a bear. And even my partner said that it's no use to take him from this zoo, bed zoo where he was. But I said, even a night, if he lives a day or a night free, it worth. And he lived 1 year. And after he went to sleep, he went to hibernate. And we found him in spring, after the hibernation. He get to sleep and he died like this. But he had 1 year. And for the old bears, we try to do everything. We made an enclosure for the old bears and we transferred them from the other enclosure. They are around 40, 47 in an enclosure. But when they arrive very old, we put specially somewhere else so we can treat them and offer them 1 day more from this stolen life that they had.
I really love that. Like every time as animal, as a human, when you open your eyes, you have 1 more day to save 1 more species, like 1 more living being. Like just shake it off you where you're coming from for the day before and say, this is a new day, it's a new moment to make a change. Like
1 more life, it counts. Exactly. 1 more life and 1 more day, it counts. For
I love that.
Like it counts also for the human being, but they don't realize. You know, I hoped so much that in this period, which was difficult for everybody, but we were obliged, or we had to stay home for our sake, but with all the condition, with laptop, with television, with food, with the family. I wanted to tell them, think, and even like this, the human were desperate. It was like in prison. And I told them, think to these animals who are caged for years. Think how it is, because they are living creatures. They like also to live among the other animals and to live free. Think to them what they feel.
Of course, Corona is bad for some people. Like Corona have happened, and one of the positive things in Corona, I believe, is we can really talk about Corona and say, okay, you have living home for half a year. You have been inside. You did not feel safe to come out. You've been crazy because you have not seen people. You have not hugged people. You have not kissed people. Maybe you just eat the same again. So imagine if you was a bear that was there in a smaller enclosure. You cannot go out. You have the opportunity to go out to shop. So imagine if you could not go out and live there till you die, like live there for so many years. And people get a little bit like uncomfortable because they can feel by themselves what feelings they have in this lockdown. So at that point, I really see Coronas have made a change. I hope for so many people to connect to how it will be to be an animal in a closed area. They have not like space to running around, to be outside, to do like behavior and get new smells, and yeah.
You know, we have bears who are coming from a cage since 30 years, and they are afraid to walk on the grass.
It's crazy.
They put the paws and it takes time, maybe 3 months, so that they go on the grass. They turn around because they are shut in their virtual cage for months, even if they have behind them all the forest and the swimming pools and the trees. And hopefully the other bears come, like saying, come with us, look what you have around. And they succeed to convince the bear to go, because we cannot push him. He turned around and he turned around for days, for weeks, until another bear come and just take the bear and say, come with me. And this is a problem not only for the bears. We speak to the guests, to the visitors, that this is a problem for all the animals, lions and tigers, and kept in parts of the world where they are not used. Keeping a lion in Romania, for example, where the winter are very, very hard, it's stupid. Or camel in this situation, it's not normal. Like I speak to the children for the circus. It's the people bring children to the circus to educate them. This is not educational. This is not educating. What can they see? A bear dressed in like a doll and going on the bicycle. It's not what a bear is doing. It's like you put like in the jungle, you put a little child to go to the tree. No, this is what they see in the sanctuary. This is education. What they are doing, the bears, real, what they eat, what they do, how they socialize together. This must see the children. And you know, I realize since we have this program, educational program, make me very happy, because I go in school and and all my team go in school. We created a manual, a book for the school for 1 year long. And every week we have a lesson for all the animals and for everything. I could send you by email the book.
I would love to see that, my friend.
I asked to the children, do you have pets? And all the children answer, yes, I have a dog, I have cats, I have birds, I have fish. And I said, you have birds, you have fish, yeah. And I said, okay, you have fish in a bowl, yeah, 11 years old. And you like this? Yes, I don't like, but my father gave it to me because he said we cannot keep a dog, but we have fish, but the fish, they are dying very often. And what happened? My father goes and buy other fish because the owner of the shop find somebody stupid like my father who pay always to buy a new fish, but the fish is dying. And I said, but where is the place of the fish? Where would you like to see? In the ocean, in the river? You think he could be much better in this place? And he said, yes, I shall say to my father that I don't want any more fish. You know, or a little girl who said, I have a cat and the cat had little babies. And I said, and what have you done with the babies? My mother took them and when they were little and left them in a park, because this is in Romania. We find cats and dogs, little puppies in a box, in parks, and they leave them. How can you love your own animal? How can you love your dog and your cat and take the little puppies and babies and leave them in the forest? And I said to the little girl, but what do you think if your mother take you and leave you in the forest alone? It was like a shock. She became to cry. And he said, I should be very scared. And I said, well, what do you think that these little cats are doing? She said, I think that they cry and the mother, our cat, look around after them. But my mother said that we cannot keep so many cats. And I said, yes, you cannot, but tell to your mother that there are solutions that the cat doesn't make every year cats, because we cannot, when they are little, 7 years old, we cannot speak about castration but we say that there are solutions. And she said, yes, I shall say to my mother. The next hour she came and she said, my mother wants to have a solution to not have any more babies. So, you know, and when I asked a boy about the stray dogs, I said, do you have a dog? Yes, but it's not castrated. Why? Because my father doesn't want to castrate the dog, you know. And I said, but you, what do you think? He said, I should prefer that the dog is castrated and to not see so many poor dogs in the street. You see? Because we think that they are children. No, they think with their heart.
True.
They don't think like the human beings. They are not corrupted. They have no interest. And they still think with their heart. And they say the truth, what they think about. So that's why I think that the education, when they are very young, it counts a lot. Now we started a program to educate them for the pollution of the plastic. And we have a book, The Plastic Soup. And, yeah. And
I love the name.
The plastic soup that we made with an association in Germany. And when they read this book, the parents call me, Madame Lapis, yes, what have you done with my child? What did you say to him to go? I said, oh my God, what happened? I said, why? I cannot throw a bottle. I cannot throw nothing. He comes and he said, no, this is plastic. You cannot throw to the garbage. This you must recuperate the plastic. I said, bravo, this I wanted to do. But you imagine I cannot do anything. And the influence of the children on the parents, it's bigger than if we speak to the parents.
True. Yeah, this is the kids we get to really inspire and educate on, like, how is life out there on a child, easy, simple way, so they know, like, what is my excellence doing to the world.
When the children, when in our school time, we have also in holiday, we bring them to the zoo and to the Liberty Bear Sanctuary. And after they fulfill a questionnaire, they write by themselves, why do we need to keep animals in a cage when they are so happy? Why they have so dirty water? The little basin with water, when here they can just swim in the river. Why do they cannot hibernate, the bears, in a cage, and here they hibernate? All this they realize by themselves. We don't say anything. They have to say. So most of them, they say, I don't want anymore to go to the zoo. I had a teacher who called me and said, what did you say to the children? What happened? And I said, why? Because they came to sell tickets for the circus and no one wanted to buy. And I said, if we cannot forbidden the circus, we can make the people to not go.
Exactly.
And little by little, the circus will disappear, or they will transform the circus in the circus how they are now, le Cirque de Lumière, and with people, not, or with animals who are not stressed to do this. For example, yeah. I have a dog, I can bring him to the circus without anything because he's like into the circus. He can do everything without teaching him. So, but not with wild animals to pass through the fire and to go on bicycle, elephants, and this is crazy. We have now all the technical, all the possibilities to look on National Geographic to see the animals so close on Animal Planet. And we remained 2,000 years old when the animals were killed in the circus, which is the progress, only technical progress. We have all of us, we have tablets and computers, and we still kill animals. It's stupid.
Yeah, it is. I have like that. Keep a wild animals wild, and if you see animals that's wild on your traveling outside the world, like a person that's go with a bear, keep the distance. Don't take picture of it. Go the other way, because if you're taking a picture, put on the social media, you're supporting the case on people go with a bear in a keychain. Exactly. Because if I put a picture up holding a bear cub as a volunteer outside, and I give the bear, someone give me the bear to hold it like a short period of time, because the bear is, I don't know, have a challenge, so just a short period of time. Yeah. And I will give the bear to someone else. No one knows why I have the bear in my hands. It can be like a hold it because a vet need to look at the bear. No one knows. But the picture giving the other on the social media a feeling about, I want to hold a bear. And they're going somewhere else to get that dream come true. So I have to tell the world, do not put a picture up where there's a human on it, because no one read it, listen to the videos, they get emotion and say, I want this, and they don't understand why a human is close to a bear. Because there's always a reason, like when you work with a bear to save a bear, there's always like a story behind, but no one wants to listen to the story. They just want the picture in their own life.
It's the same with the movies about dogs. You know, the harm that these movies, 1001 Dalmatians, made. A lot of people see the movie. It's very nice. And they took a dog, but without experience, without knowing that a dog must be cared. You have to go out with the dog. And after several days or weeks, they can't abandon the dog, because they said, oh, the dog must be taken out. He make dirty home. And I said, but how many times you take him out? Once a day. I said, it's not possible. But they want a dog, or just because they see in a movie, without responsibility of this animal. That's why when we give in adoption, you know, we make a questionnaire they have to complete, and they said, you have 1,000, because we have 1,000 dogs. You have 1,000 dogs and you made such much problem to give me a dog? And I said, yes, because a dog, it's not like a book. You take the book.
It's not a toy, you just like.
And even the book, you can bring it back. A dog, it's not the same. And we assure ourselves that And after we say, if you cannot manage with the dog, you bring him back. You don't throw him in the street. We had the problem, we have children who come to see the dogs and to caress a dog, to brush a dog, because the parents doesn't accept to have a dog. So they come and they become very approach for one of the dog. It's like their dog, and they come to see them very often. And once it was a parent or a father who came and said, okay, where is a dog that my boy is in love with? Why? Happened something, bited him or something. Oprește cuptorul și uite. I said, oh God, this is a dog. Okay, I take him home. But the boy was saying since 2 years that he wants his dog. And we couldn't give him in adoption to somebody else because the boy was very, very close to this dog. And I said, you are sure you didn't want this dog? Yes, but I don't want to hear any more about the dog home. I take him. And I said, okay, if ever doesn't work, you bring, okay. And he left very angry with the dog. 1 week after, with the dog to the gate, the father,
Oh my God.
in leash, and we said, okay. And I said, okay, you brought him back. This dog become my life. I love this dog. Why I didn't take this dog before? This dog changed our life home. I can go out to smoke because I say to my wife that I go to walk with the dog so I can go out. My boy is so quiet. He makes his lesson because the dog is near him. The dog is my my happiness. I came to thank you and to tell you.
My God.
You know, such stories give us the power to go on.
Give the hope to fight for one more life. Yeah.
And even if, you know, when the television came, because all the television of the world, not all from Europe, came to film in our sanctuary, came and asked me, everybody asked me, Madame Lapis, you are happy, you are proud what you have done. They are very disappointed because I am not happy and I am not proud. I should have, and I say this to everybody, I should have preferred that we don't need any sanctuary in the world, that the animals live really free. Because even if to this sanctuary, there is a 5-star sanctuary, all inclusive, and they have everything, a fence, an electric fence, remember them that there will be never real free. For sure, for these bears who were 30 years in a cage, it's a second chance and the only chance. They cannot be released. They don't know anymore. But I should be happy that we don't need this and we protect the animals before they arrive.
Exactly.
Do not arrive in a sanctuary. This I want to tell to everybody who is coming. And the visitors who are coming, they are driven by one of our team. There are only 30 persons. And we say to them, no, you don't eat, you don't listen music, you don't speak on the phone. You respect, that's why I called sanctuary, like a holy place. And I say to them, you can make pictures with your telephone, but most of all, look and take the pictures in your heart.
Exactly, with your eyes.
And in
really
your heart,
connect. Yeah.
where you will not forget this experience.
Because when you take your mobile, you're disconnected to be connected to what you're seeing, because you have something in front of you or take a picture. You disconnect instead of like, I choose to put my mobile on flight mode, be in it, experience, smell it,
Feel it.
See it, yeah, feel it just
with
like
your heart.
sense it. Yeah. Yeah. And that is something I can see so many people really need to learn, like how to really connect to your heart, to get everything in and make a change on what you're seeing.
And I tell to the people, you don't need, you must not consider that the animals are inferior to us. They are different. I say, listen, the birds can fly and find their way without GPS. Can you do it? And they said, yes, it's true. And they have so much possibilities that we don't have. They have other senses that we don't have. Exactly. They can speak between them in another way that we can do. I say, when you say to a dog, sit down, he understands us. When he speaks to you, you don't understand him. So we are not smart, the best in this world, and we have a lot to learn from the animals. The fidelity, an animal doesn't lie, and you can trust an animal until the end of your life. It's not the same with the human beings. So we have to learn from them. And we are saying the dog is the best friend of the human being, but we are the best friend of the dog?
No, I would say no. Because the best friend of the dog is to live a life. They decide to live a life, and how do we know what the dog needs? Because most dog people have not really put in the dog's situation, like what is the dog need exactly.
That's why we're saying dog life. It's not always, the dog is not always, for the human, it's not the best friend. It's a pet, it's not a member of the family, it's just a toy to play and to be bought for Christmas. That's why we don't give in adoption for Christmas. A dog is for life. There are many things that the people have to think, and our duty is to make them think to all this.
Yeah. So true. When I share people around, like with pictures on animals, people get like, what? It's like people don't see what you're seeing. They don't know what you're seeing. You really get to just be in it and put your mobile away and share it with your voice instead of share it with pictures. Yeah. So what is to the audience that's seeing this video, Cristina, what do you want the audience to go with after this interview?
I beg your pardon, I did not understand you.
So to the audience that's seeing this interview after this, because we are live together, you and me, my friend, what is one of the things you want to touch people? Like, what is one of the things you want people to like make action on, like take it away from the audience and like take it away from this interview?
I don't ask to anybody to love an animal, because love is something very personal. But I should like that the human beings respect the life, all the creatures. We didn't give life to these creatures, and we must respect them and not harm them. If we cannot do better for them, at least to respect them. And teach also the children to respect, because many studies demonstrated that the children who torture animals become torture human beings later. We must be very careful. That's why we have to respect the animals, and at least for animals to let them live their lives, the wild animals, to not interfere. They are wild animals who must live free. They are pet animals that we can keep, not to take snakes and crocodiles and donkeys, birds, and for the farm animals, at least if you cannot stop to eat and you want to eat dead animals, not meat, dead animals, and doesn't disturb you to eat a dead animal, at least to make their life normal until they live, to live a normal life, and to have nice death, if we can say, because you know, a lot of people says to me, I eat bio, it's a bio meat, and I said there is no bio death, doesn't exist. The death is one for all the animals.
Yeah, it's going like, when I share that with my mom, is like ecologic. I think it's called ecologic. Some people, doesn't matter my mom, when people say ecologic, going through a different kind of slaughterhouse, where it's like, no, every animal is going in the same slaughterhouse, in the same process. There's nothing like collecting the meat. Everyone is going the same house.
It's only
same
that
process.
they have a better life, maybe.
Exactly.
But the death is the same for, and they feel the same, frightened. They are frightened, they are scared, and they suffer.
I really, really hope everyone experience a slaughterhouse to see the cow's eyes, because you can see in cow's eyes just waiting to be slaughtered. There is so much fear. Their eyes is changing. They're like drooling, and you can smell, or you could just smell the blood. You can see the cows is frightened.
We had a story with the cow that the owner brought her to the slaughtery, and the cow succeeded to escape. The name of the cow was Mia, and she escaped, and she returned home 40 kilometers from the slaughtery.
Oh.
And when the owner, it was in all the newspapers in Romania, and when the owner saw her back, he said, I will never bring her back to the slaughtery, never again. You imagine this cow who succeeded to escape from the rank where she was, and she came back. How could you bring her once more to the slaughtery?
Exactly. The cow just wants to be home and just want to live a life. Well, it's horrible.
So I must thank you for all this, what you are doing for animals. And I'm sure that a little bit will touch, but little bit by little bit will touch some souls, because I think that everybody has a soul. Important is how to open the door to this soul.
Exactly. I really believe like this is the small changing, the small steps that is making the big one. Because if we all just make a small change on the plastic, on the meat, the dead animal we're eating, and like what we're buying of clothes, they will be getting a bigger impact on this earth when we're choosing a small actions every day to step up, to show up, to inspire other people how changes can be and how it can look like, up and down turn. I really hope everyone that is also seeing this interview takes something out of this interview and will learn for it and change like the communication. Instead of you maybe using meat, choose to say dead animals and feel on yourself body how you feel about yourself when you're seeing you eating. Like if I for you that is seeing this issue and I eat meat, say I eat dead animals. When I say that right now, I do not feel good about myself. That communications, I get like bad taste in my mouth. So I will inspire you to say that communication, tell the truth to yourself, tell the truth to mindset, and change the habits to choose one day meat day, whether 1 day or 2 days, 1 week with no meat, because there's so many options out there, and that will also help you in your world, in your life, to open your mindset to see new opportunities, and that will also serve you when you're facing a challenge in life. Your mindset is more easy to see the solution because you're choosing to see new solutions, new ways to eat different, and that will support you to face your challenge with a new mindset, with new eyes, and living a life with purpose to stand for something bigger. So thank you so much, Cristina, for being here. It has been an amazing interview, and I will do my best to get this interview out, and thank you for bottom of my heart, what you're doing. I'm very touched right now for what you're doing for the animals, for the bears, dogs and cats, the farm animals. Like, the world need more you in this world, really telling the truth, because you are a woman that is brave enough, that bold enough to say like this, and we need people like that in this world. So thank you so much for what you're doing.
I hope you will be able one day to come to visit the sanctuary to see happy animals.
I will love them. I love it.
Be very happy to have you.
I love to travel out as volunteer every year. Last time I was in Guatemala for 5 months and saving the jungle animals, putting free. That is my purpose, to live and work with that every day. That is something I work with, because that is purpose in it.
Thank you to you also.
Thank you, my friend. And take good care, and talk to you soon again. Have a amazing day, my friend. And to you out there, please share this interview and send in Cristina and her Liberty Bear Sanctuary some feedback on what you're taking out, and share her message. So there's a link to this interview, and you also get a link through the newsletter. So please go to the link and share his message, because more we share, more we are sharing our own voice instead of just sharing a link. We inspire other people to take a look in what we are sharing in the link. So thank you so much, everyone, for seeing, and thank you so much, Cristina.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, my friend.